What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of the 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below. Thanks for being here, guys, to the best entertainment related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. We've talked about GTA, guys, the Grand Theft Auto series, one of the most popular franchises of all time in gaming. And we've talked, about the past of GTA, the present, and what the future looks like in the Grand Theft Auto universe. And we're going to continue that here today, guys, with this first segment of the show, which, by the way, you guys can check out all of the Grand Theft Auto content on the YouTube channel here. But in today's, in this segment of the show, I want to talk about GTA 6 and the top 5 things that we want in GTA 6. And, guys, this game hasn't been announced yet. It hasn't been 100% confirmed by Rockstar, but it is very much so to be believed that this is the next game up and coming from Rockstar after the announcement that Bully 2 was actually canceled. There can be only so many different games that Rockstar are most likely working on. They could be working on a new IP altogether. Max Payne 4 is most likely somewhere down the road, but I don't think it's quite yet. I think that GTA 6 is absolutely going to be the next thing. You could, of course, see LA Noire 2 potentially. Who knows, maybe even a new Manhunt game. But I think GTA 6 is the best bet for the next game coming out from Rockstar, their most popular game at the very least. And I think, guys, there's a lot of speculation, lots of rumblings about what this game could be all about. So we're going to be basing this top 5, guys, on the things that we want. And when I say we, guys, I'm going to be talking about myself here and my opinions. Some of you may share very similar opinions, but you might not. I just want to know what your top 5 things you guys want in GTA 6 are in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So coming in, guys, at number 1 for me is a new story altogether. I'm going to kind of get to how I would like to see that these stories kind of somewhat come together in one way, shape, or form in the GTA universe. But GTA 6, guys, I want it to be a new story, right? It was great playing, GTA 5 and those characters and starting to really, connect with those characters and such. But I'd really like to see, even though you could easily continue onwards with, from GTA 5 and kind of do a direct continuation, which is a definite possibility. I just think that GTA does such a good job, or Rockstar that is, does a really good job of kind of separating each of these games. When you're playing Nico in GTA 4, then you're playing Franklin or Michael in GTA 5. I think they do a really good job of really creating these characters and giving them almost a voice within this universe, and it's something that we really enjoy as players. And so I'd like to see a new story. I want to see new characters, guys. I wouldn't mind, of course, seeing some existing characters come into the fray. I also would like to see some new enemies, obviously, as well as new locations. There's a ton of talk that we might be going back to Vice City, over to San Andreas, back here or there. Tons of speculation. I actually want to see a new location altogether. Now, what I will say about that is this. I like seeing some existing locations that we've already experienced and kind of just, with updated graphics and things of that nature. But I also like seeing mainly new locations. So it'd be nice to kind of still have that feel of GTA, that kind of, feel of like this, things that are familiar to us within this world. And then, of course, having things that are different, I think is really important as well. And that leads us, also to the enemies, guys, wanting to have, new types of enemies, new enemies that we're going up against. I think that's something that really makes this, is going to kind of set this game apart from like the other Grand Theft Auto games. Coming in number 2, guys, I'd like to see more customization, whether we're talking from, the multiplayer perspectives, whether we're talking from a campaign perspective. I'd like to see more customization. So we'll kind of start with the campaign here. I want to see more customization, guys, whether we're talking about our character, the different clothes that our character's wearing, to, being able to really customize those things, giving, whatever it is with our character, just having more customization options, as well as the different weapons, as well as the different vehicles you're using and utilizing at your disposal in the campaign. I want to see all of those things that we're really able to, continue customizing. Grand Theft Auto has done a great job, or Rockstar that is, has done a great job with this franchise, having ways in which we can customize things and kind of traverse the world in a way that we want. And I think that we can continue doing that, or Rockstar can continue doing that moving into GTA 6, especially because most likely it's going to be coming out on the next gen consoles, which is going to be, the upgraded hardware. And then guys, the second part of this, from a multiplayer perspective, I also would like to just see more ways that we can customize different, like I said, our character, vehicles, having, more of a, even a bigger like rank up system and things of that nature that really get us to, put in the time that we want into the game, and you can kind of show those things off to the whole world. I'd also like, getting back to the campaign, I'd like to see a longer campaign. I'd like to see a longer drawn out campaign. They've done a pretty good job actually, guys, of having a pretty long campaign, and then of course having, multiplayer perspectives and such in at least GTA 5. I want to see that, but I'd love to even be able to do more within the world, that being the Grand Theft Auto universe in GTA 6. Having a longer campaign would be pretty awesome in my opinion. And that leads us into number 3, guys. I really want them to expand upon GTA Online, which I think GTA Online is something that, some people love it, some people hate it, but at the same time, this is a massive, massive multiplayer experience for many people out there. And I've really enjoyed the GTA Online experience, but look, there's always ways that you can improve something, and I think that there's definitely ways that they can improve GTA Online between GTA 5 to GTA 6. And so whether you're talking from a graphic standpoint, whether you're talking about having more customizable options, having more earnable items and things of that nature, as well as just more things that you can do within GTA Online will obviously be really important. So expanding upon it, guys, maybe having more co-op missions, more things you can do with your friends, more ways in which, like I said, more things to customize, more earnable things and Easter eggs and things of that nature that you can be searching for and looking for, I think would be really awesome as well throughout the course. Now, they've done a really good job, guys. Don't get me wrong with GTA Online up to this point. They're consistently updating it. They're doing a really good job. The same thing with like Red Dead Online. But I think, guys, with the next gen hardware, they can take that next step. That leads me, guys, to number 4 is kind of getting us back to the campaign here. I really would like, as I said earlier, I want them to have new characters overall, but I also want to have some existing characters. I really want this story to tie into the other GTA stories in one way, shape, or form. Whether that means they tie it into GTA 5 because that's more, recent, I think that would be awesome. In a number of ways, guys, I think it would be really cool to see them tie the story together into like GTA 5. At the end of GTA 5, not necessarily a cliffhanger, but at the same time, there's obviously room for us to continue moving forward in, like kind of building off of GTA 5. And so I think that would be really awesome to see what happens afterwards and what is canon and such. So personally, I would love them to tie into GTA 5 at least. I think that would be something really exciting and get people really excited for the next addition to the Grand Theft Auto universe, that being like GTA 7. But I just think it would be cool to see them tie it in one way or another to some of the other games, so it starts making more sense how this world all kind of comes together. And that leads me, guys, into number 5, which is a number of things here, actually, a number of things within, number 5. Number 1 is I'd like to see a new character, which obviously we want new characters, but I really want a character that we play as, not necessarily 3 like we had in GTA 5. I'd like us to take the helm of one character again. We tried it with 3, that being in GTA 5. I'd like to see one character this time. Now, that being said, I'd also like to have it where this character also has like a sidekick or someone that kind of works with them, that being kind of opening the door to more co-op elements to GTA 6 where you can kind of play with your friends and such. I think that would be a really interesting concept, but I think there should be one person who we see kind of their narrative and how that maybe ties into GTA 5 in one way, shape, or form. I think that would be really cool, or at least having a sidekick, like somebody who's kind of with the main character that you can kind of open the door to co-op options. And so maybe after you beat the campaign by yourself in the single player, perspective, you can go ahead and kind of go back and play with your friends, but you can play as the other, side character that is your partner throughout it. I think that would be a really cool concept in my opinion. So I'd like to see one character. We tried 3. Let's go back to 1. I'd also like to see some free-to-play elements, guys, that being like GTA Online or maybe, some of the co-op missions, like side missions and stuff. I'd love to see some free-to-play elements to GTA 6. I hope they do that moving into it, even if it's like free-to-play weekends and such. That'd be really cool. Or like free DLC where you don't necessarily have to pay for DLC. That'd be really nice as well. And then that kind of gets me to, just as far as the world is concerned of Grand Theft Auto, wherever it's set in, I'd like to have even more things that we can do along the journey, whether we're talking from a perspective of just having things that we can do, things that we can see like along the journey, which obviously there's a lot of side missions in GTA 5 and some of the other, Grand Theft Auto games, but even more ways and more things to do along the journey, I think would be really awesome moving into GTA 6. So that if, for those of you who don't like playing the GTA Online, you really just like the campaign, there's more things that you're able to do along the journey to keep you coming back over and over again until like DLC and such comes out, which hopefully that DLC is free to play. But those guys are the 5 things that I want to see in Grand Theft Auto 6. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys want to see? What are your top 5 things that you want in GTA 6? Let me know in the comment section below. And for more GTA 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. We've talked on the YouTube channel a number of times, guys, about Rainbow Six and the future of this franchise. And, one of the things that obviously is coming up, pretty soon is going to be Rainbow Six Quarantine. And I'm incredibly excited about Rainbow Six Quarantine, guys, because you guys know me. I'm really big into the horror genre of video games as well as movies. And this looks like a game that's got some mystery to it. It looks like a pure horror shooter game, and I'm excited, to say the least, for what Ubisoft has got up their sleeve with this title and what this is necessarily going to be. How this is going to maybe tie into, just the Rainbow Six universe as a whole, or is this just going to be completely its own thing where it'll just kind of sit as kind of a side story, a side missions, because they've kind of stated that's going to be heavily based around co-op. So I really wanted to take this segment of the show and talk about everything that we want out of Rainbow Six Quarantine. And once again, guys, as I said, when I speak about what we want, I'm stating what I want and what my opinions are. I know some of you will share similar opinions, and if you don't, or even if you do, I'd love to know what you guys want to see in Rainbow Six Quarantine in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. And really, guys, the number one thing for me is, I kind of alluded to this, where Ubisoft has stated that this is going to be really a co-op based game, which is great. I'm excited about it. Lots of horror games out there are actually going this direction. However, one thing that I want is I want to be able to have the option to play it by myself with the AI as like my partners, instead of having to play co-op or play with somebody at all times. Sometimes it's nice to play the story by yourself, and then other times it's nice to play with people. So I just hope that there's the option. If I want to play it by myself and play that story through, and then maybe the second time around I want to play with my friends, I want to have that option to do so. I don't want to be forced into having to play it from a co-op perspective. Leads me into number 2, guys. I hope that this story, and what I want from this story, is a lot of surprises, a lot of, like I said, horror elements. Obviously, this is a shooter game, guys, but I love that there's going to be, this is going to be more of a horror shooter, in the Rainbow Six universe, which I think is going to be something that could be very special moving into this title. And so, for me at least, I want there to be, obviously those significant horror elements. I want there to be a lot of mystery throughout the course of this, and I'm hoping that this really actually builds from Rainbow Six Quarantine to, say, maybe a sequel to it. I just hope that they build something on the side here, because for me personally, there's so many shooters out there and not as many horror games that come out, guys. And so I really hope that this does well as a horror shooter, that we get continuations of it as we go. And hopefully, from at least the trailers and such, it looks really good. I hope it is absolutely that. Now, that leads me to the next thing, guys. I am wanting, obviously, those surprises. I want there to be, a lot of surprise here from Ubisoft. Part of me wonders, is this going to be a semi-open world? Is this going to be more of a linear story? If we go based on the past and the stories that they've told, whether that be in Rainbow Six Vegas or some of the other titles in the universe. What I will say is that it seems like it's most likely going to be a linear story. It probably won't be, semi or full open world, which would be interesting. But I think what I want, guys, is kind of what's worked up to this point, especially being the first of its kind in the Rainbow Six universe. I kind of want it to be a linear story that we understand. I hope it's a long story, though. I really hope that it's a long, drawn-out campaign that we can really enjoy. There's things like collectibles and things of that nature that we can really start learning about this world within Rainbow Six. Leads me to the next thing, guys. Another thing that I really want is multiplayer. Look, Rainbow Six Siege has done such a good job where that multiplayer experience has grown drastically. I mean, this is one of the bigger esports out there now, guys. And, it's because the developers believed in the game. And even though they got a lot of backlash at first, it eventually really picked up. And now they're doing incredibly well. And so what I want to see in Rainbow Six Quarantine, obviously, is, a campaign and a co-op, missions or campaign as well. But I also want to see multiplayer elements to it. And from what's been revealed about the game, it looks like there's a lot of customization options and such, which kind of leads me to believe that there's a possibility we're going to get multiplayer in this game, and I really hope we do. And, having multiplayer modes, they already know what's worked for them with Rainbow Six Siege, so that should make it a pretty, a pretty easy transition to Rainbow Six Quarantine. Even though there'll be different maps, there'll be different things like that, I still think having multiplayer modes would be absolutely awesome in this universe. And that leads me to the next thing. When it comes to the co-op side of things, I'd love there to be like other co-op missions or co-op game modes you can play with your friends or even play with other people out there, similar to like Gears of War, where they have horde mode where you're going up against waves and waves of enemies. It'd be interesting to see this in the Rainbow Six universe, in Rainbow Six Quarantine, having something similar to a horde mode where you're going up against waves and waves of enemies and you try to complete each wave with your friends or with just other people across the world. So that'd be really interesting and something that I would really like to see as well. More ways than one to connect with this game. And some of the concerns I have is that maybe that they're just going to have a co-op campaign and that's all it's going to be. They're not going to add really anything. Maybe they'll add DLC here or there, but I really just hope, guys, that we get a full package deal here. And that's what I'm kind of trying to get across, is that that's the big thing for me, is having a full package with Rainbow Six Quarantine to really see the continuation of this franchise and just even the side story and, sub-franchise within the overall series of Rainbow Six, I think would be really great. And then, that leads me into kind of the last thing here, guys, which is obviously going to be the customization and earnable items. So I'm hoping with multiplayer, you're going to be able to have a lot of customization options, whether that's your character, your guns, your, whatever it might be, right? I would like to see a lot of customization. I'd like to see a lot of earnable items. So when you're in the in-game lobbies, you get to kind of see what everybody else's rank is. You get to see the titles, the emblems that they've earned throughout the game to show how much time they put into the game and such, or just what they've earned along the way. And I think that's something that gets the community to continue trying to like earn things within the game instead of buying like microtransactions and such, just cosmetic items, which obviously is probably going to be in the game. However, I want to see more earnable items and, customizable items over the microtransactions as a whole. But with that, guys, that is all the things that I want. One that I haven't mentioned was a free-to-play game. I don't believe that Rainbow Six Quarantine is going to be free to play. It'd be cool because then you get a lot of people to try it out. If there's a multiplayer modes, I would definitely say I would hope maybe some of the multiplayer modes would be free to play so everyone could try it. I just don't know if Ubisoft's going to do that. I highly doubt it. This is one of their biggest franchises, and I feel that they're not going to probably make it free to play. But nonetheless, guys, these are the things that I want out of Rainbow Six Quarantine. What are the things that you want? Let me know in the comment section below. And for more Rainbow Six Quarantine content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. We've talked on the YouTube channel about Pragmata, the newest game that's going to be coming out from Capcom, guys, in a couple of years from now. And this is the newest IP that Capcom has had in 4 years. And what I will say is we've talked on the channel talking about how Pragmata is very intriguing. It's very, looks very different. It also has vibes of like Death Stranding and games of that nature, but it has so much mystery to it. Looks like it may very well have psychological elements to it as well. And what I'm really excited about, guys, is that this is a new IP from Capcom, and this is a developer that certainly does take chances with some of their IPs, and I think that this is going to be no different. And so what I want to talk about in this segment of the show is about everything that we know so far about Pragmata. We can break it down, and then we can have a real conversation about it. So let's get into it. So an article, guys, that was written by David Restrepo of Gaming Instincts, what we know about Pragmata. Now, Pragmata was one of the PlayStation 5 event's most mysterious titles. For a showcase largely centered around gameplay and real-time representative footage, Pragmata was one of the few outliers. Of the announced release dates, it's also far off with the 2022 release. So that's kind of the first thing, guys. It's pretty far off. However, there's a reason that they're kind of announcing this game right now when it's a couple of years away. I think they want to build this thing over the course of the next, year or so. Now, if it comes out maybe January 2022, they're going to be promoting the heck out of it, I would assume, all throughout 2021. But regardless of when it comes out, guys, I would have to say that this is going to be, this is going to be something big because they're already promoting it and it's a couple of years away. So it's something certainly to kind of think about. Pragmata is coming exclusively to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Steam sometime in 2022. Developed and published by Capcom, it runs on the company's proprietary RE engine with a focus on utilizing next-gen hardware's capabilities. It will use ray tracing, though the extent to which it'll be applied remains a mystery. Considering the trailer makes judicious use of reflections within the puddles of the windows of buildings, ray trace reflections are a safe bet. This would fall in line with the game's general aesthetic with reflective surfaces in abundance. Now, Capcom aims to establish this next-gen game as one of its core brands moving forward. So, Capcom released an extended cut of the Pragmata trailer after PlayStation 5 stream, running a minute longer than the original announcement trailer. The trailer's extended cut provides no new information. It showcases extra landscape shots. There's also an extended version of the protagonist's interaction with the young girl prior to being sucked through the moon's artificial atmospheric bubble. Now, Pragmata was one of the event's few games showcased in such a way that made it unclear whether it was real-time, pre-rendered, or in-engine. Nothing in the trailer indicated possible gameplay sequences, though. More games have adopted in-game cinematics in recent years. Now, one thing that I will say is that this is a game, obviously, going to be most likely a futuristic game here, guys, in a futuristic world where what kind of looked, to me at least, was that it was hard to tell, what's real, what isn't real, and that's why I think there's a lot of psychological elements here, because you look at the girl, she's able to survive on the moon without a spacesuit, but then this other guy has a spacesuit he's most likely going to be the main character. There's a lot of question marks here. Are they colonizing the moon? There's obviously it looked like there was some type of organism that was kind of almost like infecting the Earth, and then there was a satellite that comes through this like glass barrier trying to maybe give you the impression that the world actually isn't the world. It's just giving you this impression, and then it looks like maybe the guy in the spacesuit works on the, all of this different technology potentially. Maybe he's being forced to wear the suit. Maybe he works on satellites. It looks like he's got like gear kind of like within Death Stranding, and that's where it's like, a lot of comparisons were coming to Death Stranding. One thing I will say is Pragmata's trailer could have been pre-rendered, however. Two major imperfections make it difficult to stick by this assertion. The girl's hair wasn't impressive in the slightest. Looking at past RE engine titles such as Resident Evil 7, hair rendering was a sticky point. CG renders typically clean up these sorts of flaws. Additionally, pause the extended cut trailer at the 44-second mark. The Stardust billboard sports low-resolution artwork and text that would look bad even on current-gen hardware. So really, what I will say is this, guys. Obviously, this is kind of like one of our initial one of our initial kind of thoughts, right? And in his thoughts in particular about some of the things within the trailer. Now, this is a very first early trailer, guys. It's a couple years away. This obviously is not going to be finalized. I thought that the graphics looked pretty good, but I mean, if you really think about it, guys, even Resident Evil Village that's going to be coming out, the graphics looked good, but they didn't look, you know, incredible. They don't look like Ghost of Tsushima or The Last of Us type of style. They have a certain style, that being Capcom with their titles. What's interesting is the trailer shows a man walking through an abandoned New York City-inspired environment decked out in semi-futuristic space gear. He shoots a canister which explodes mid-air, leaving behind a flurry of particles. The protagonist is able to use this newly covered radius to examine holographic images, with his visor leading him toward the trailer's only other human, the little girl. She's seen playing with the holographic cat, lending further evidence that its setting heavily involves some sort of time and spatial interaction, which is very true in my opinion. One thing that we don't know, though, is that is the guy in the suit, is it an actual human or is this an actual robot? That's a question that we need, that'll be kind of, I feel we'll find out at some point or another. Soon after meeting the girl, a satellite comes crashing, exposing an artificially crafted atmosphere. They weren't in New York City. They were in an approximated recreation beneath the moon's surface. After breaking through the barrier, the protagonist and young girl stand in unison, staring at Earth as the man ends the trailer with these words, "Freedom, our freedom." There's not much else to glean from the trailer other than the assumption that the young girl may follow the protagonist through most of the game, whether it's a playable character or an NPC. And this is where I was kind of thinking, and we talked about this, guys, in a previous video. You guys can check out all the Pragmatic content on the YouTube channel here, but what I will say is that the girl in the trailer, it seems like she most likely is going to be maybe a co-op character, or she's going to be kind of just another side character that is with you throughout the journey. Maybe she's going to be a playable character as far as from a co-op perspective, which would be really interesting. But I think what I will say is, guys, there's a ton of speculation as well as mystery around this title, and that's what I think is getting the buzz going around the community about this title. There's a ton of mystery here. Like it says, with 2 years until Pragmata's release, there's still a lot of mystery surrounding Capcom's new story-driven title. Whether it succeeds and grows into a core property as the company hopes or fails remains to be seen, obviously, with the game coming out in a couple of years. But a lot of mystery, guys. There's a ton of mystery here around this game. I think Capcom obviously is purposely doing that. Like I said, it reminds me a ton of Death Stranding. But this actually seems like one of those games that very well may have more mystery than even Death Stranding. There was a ton of theories, tons of, speculation around Death Stranding and what really Death Stranding was and what it is. And obviously a lot of those questions were answered, even though there's still mystery there. I think Pragmata could be something like, very intriguing to say the least. Like they've got a lot of, different planets, and maybe you're near a black hole. Maybe a lot of the theories that were in Death Stranding could also relate here to Pragmata. We got to wait and see as more information comes out. I'll be sure to keep you guys all up to speed as more information comes out, guys. But at the end of the day, what are your thoughts about Pragmata as far as the early, predictions, very early thoughts on this game and the early things that we know so far? There's a lot there's things that we know because we got a trailer, but there's a lot of things that we don't know yet, guys, which leaves a lot of mystery, which I think is a good thing. And Capcom is kind of keeping a tight lid on this project, it seems. But with that, let me know in the comment section below, what are you guys most excited about with Pragmata? Let me know, and for more Pragmata content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. One of the most asked about things or additions to Apex Legends by the community was crossplay, guys, and we're finally getting it at this point. We're going to be getting it, guys, here in 2020, and I'm so excited about this. I mean, look, I feel that if Apex Legends would have launched as a game with crossplay, it could have been, way bigger than it is right now. Now, look, it's a very big game, without a doubt. It is a massive BR, to say the least, but I think that they've been a little bit behind with crossplay, unfortunately, but it seems like we're finally getting it. So let's talk about it. So, guys, in an article that was written by Matthew Reynolds, of Eurogamer, Apex Legends will be cross-platform in some ways and not others. Here's what we know. Apex Legends cross-platform support was one of the most frequently asked questions when the free-to-play shooter was released. Between Apex Legends releasing on multiple platforms at once, the Battle Royale genre having previous form of offering cross-platform multiplayer, and it being very popular, everyone is eager to complete alongside friends, regardless of their system of choice. The good news is cross-platform play for Apex Legends is happening. So, will Apex Legends have cross-platform multiplayer? The short answer is yes. Apex Legends will be cross-platform. It's happening in 2020. So, it is, guys, going to be Xbox, PS4, Nintendo Switch, Steam, as well as Origin. So you'll be able to play on all of those, which is absolutely incredible, happening this fall. This was, of course, updated with a reveal at EA Play 2020, confirming cross-platform play will be coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC, and the newly arriving Switch version, which EA Play, even though I didn't think it was a great, I didn't think it was that great of an event, at the end of the day, I was super excited to see this get announced. Cross-platform play will be arriving in the autumn alongside the Switch version and release of Apex Legends on Steam. Now, will Apex Legends offer cross-progress or cross-purchases? This is a huge question. Though Apex Legends cross-platform play is on the cards, it's likely your account and progress will still be restricted to each individual platform. Talking to Eurogamer at launch, lead producer Drew McCoy, unfortunately, we won't be able to do cross-progress or cross-purchases, which is a bummer, but due to the way systems were set up early on, we can't reconcile it after the fact. Which, look, guys, this is one big asterisk around, cross-play with Apex Legends, which, look, for those of you who play Fortnite, if you play on the Switch or you play on the Xbox, you play on the PlayStation, wherever you play, guys, you just link your account and all the way around, you're able to progress. So let's just say I'm playing on my Xbox One and I rank up my battle pass up to, let's just say 10 or 15. When I pick up my Nintendo Switch to play that, let's say I'm in the car and I'm driving or I'm, riding in a car with a friend or something and I'm playing on my Switch, I'm ranking up just the exact same. So, I'm kind of picking up right where I left off. Whereas with this, if you're playing Apex Legends on the Xbox One, you rank up, to a specific amount. And then if you get your Switch, you are obviously going to be restricted on, you're basically starting all over, essentially, is basically what they're saying, which is really unfortunate. However, at least you'll be able to cross-play with other people on other systems. That's one thing that'll be nice about it. What this means in practice is your unlocks, purchases, and stats will be restricted to each individual platform, so you cannot start on PS4 and then access the same account details on PC. So people, before you make any serious time or money investments with the game, make sure you pick the platform you'll be happy with long term. Now, how might the cross-platform play work? With Apex Legends, cross-platform capability details thin on the ground. How exactly the feature could work is speculation, but other cross-platform games might provide some ideas. Fellow Battle Royale shooter Fortnite, which currently offers cross-platform multiplayer to all systems it's available on, that's between PS4, Xbox One, PC, Switch, iOS, and Android, uses your Epic account to see who else is playing on a different system. Rocket League, meanwhile, is set to use the Rocket ID system when it debuts later this year. Chances are, Apex Legends will operate in a similar way, having you log into an Origin account to see friends playing on other systems, then send an invite and go from there. So when cross-platform support does arrive, don't assume you'll be paired against teams with a mouse and keyboard if you're using a console. Using Fortnite as an example, it always keeps you matched against others on the same platform until you play with the cross-platform squad, pitting you against cross-platform teams, also keeping things fair for those who don't plan to use cross-platform play at all. So look, like I said, one of the things I really enjoyed about EA Play was this announcement. The thing that really is tough, guys, is that cross-progress and cross-purchases, it's restricted to, one platform, which is really unfortunate. Look, at the end of the day, for me at least, I'm okay with it because I will probably just play on one console. It would be nice to be able to play on multiple consoles, and the progress right where I leave off, it picks back up and I'm able to, continue onwards. However, at the end of the day, I think it's really nice that we're going to be able to play with other people out there because I have a lot of friends on PlayStation. I have a lot of friends that play on the Switch. And so I want to be able to play with my friends as well. And being able to do that here with cross-play, I'll be able to play on my Xbox and they're on the Switch. Another one's on the PlayStation, and we'll all be able to play together, which is awesome. It's just too bad that I can't play on multiple, platforms and have that cross progress and cross purchases. But overall, guys, this is really big news for those of you who are huge Apex Legends fans. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. And for more Apex Legends content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.